Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, by request, we're gonna watch Don't Go in the House. Let's check it out. Alright, we're at a work site here, and that's our hero, Donnie Kohler. One of his co-workers just got doused in flames. Donnie just kind of stands there watching, like, enjoying. Donnie lives in a big house with his mother, and we get some other flashbacks here involving fire.
No, Mother, don't!
He goes upstairs to bring his dinner to Mom, and Mom is dead.
No. Wake up.
Donnie hears voices telling him he's free.
Free?
We'll help you. Don't worry. We'll help you.
You will?
You can do anything you want to do.
He now realizes he can play his music loud and dance on the furniture. Go, Donnie, go. We get an actual flashback to Donnie's childhood, and Mama was not very nice to him.
Where I go?
The flower shop lady, Mr. Bus.
Well, I'm going to River Road.
I go right past there. I could give you a lift.
Donnie's gonna pick her up. He said he had to drop off something at home first, so he kind of conned her into his house.
Mother!
She's getting a little freaked at this point. When she turns to try to call a cab, she gets thumped. Then we see her a minute later, and she is hanging from a ceiling, naked, bound. Donnie then dons a big asbestos suit, gets a flamethrower, and just douses the chick. Brutal.
You won't do
A
anything.
woman with car trouble on the side of the
Can I give
road.
you a lift to the next gas station?
Oh, I really appreciate that.
And that's how Donnie gets his women. Or as we call them in this movie, burn victims. This is his co-worker, Bobby Tuttle. Bobby's always trying to do things with Donnie. Meanwhile, Donnie's getting visions of ghosts at his house from the women he kills.
Okay, listen, man. All I'm trying...
Donnie also has nightmares. His burn victims are coming back to get him. Did I mention that he still keeps Mama in the house even though she's been dead for a few weeks? Mama's not looking too good these days. Donnie is still plagued by dreams and ghosts.
Something we can do.
Bobby's finally getting Donnie out of the house.
Guess what I got lined up for tonight? Two live ones, man. And let me tell you, they are dynamite.
Donnie's going out on a date. He needs himself a new shirt.
That's a beautiful plaid, isn't it? Well, I'll tell you the truth. For the disco scene, I think this is what you want.
It's a blind date, obviously, and Donnie doesn't like to dance.
Do you mind if I dance with you, Donnie?
No, go ahead.
All right.
So she dances with another dude. At one point, Karen, the woman, reaches out to kind of dance with them a little bit, And he has a fire flashback freakout and burns her. Karen's brother beat him up outside the bar, but he got away.
What? He was jumped.
And picked up 2 female hitchhikers.
A couple of guys came out of no place. They jumped me in a parking lot.
Other trouble, Father. He's gone crazy.
Bobby tries to get help from the priest.
No, there isn't time. He's really flipped out, and this guy's after him and wants to kill him. Because Donnie attacked his sister in her face. Father, he's gone crazy, and I don't know what to do. I didn't know whether to go to the police or what. So would you come with me over to his house? You know how to talk to him. Will you please come and help me?
Obviously, he gets those 2 chicks to his house. They get separated. This is
Suzanne!
Patty.
Suzanne! Oh, God!
Patty's not long for this world. Or maybe she is. Bobby and the priest get there in time before he doused them with flames.
Are you all right?
Flame on, priest. Suddenly, his burn victims are being ghosts in his house, stalking him. The place starts on fire, and they attack him. Now, is this all part of Donnie's imagination? Who knows? That's the last of Donnie. In some neighborhood nearby, the voices are now talking to Michael. That's how our film ends, with Michael becoming the next Donnie Kohler. Alright, let's talk about Don't Go in the House. It's a movie that I had on a VHS tape. I taped it back in the late 80s, 89 or so. Rented from a place called Vid Video in Two Rivers, Wisconsin. The guy's name was Randy, who ran that store. I remember watching it at the time and thinking, wow, that's a brutal, nasty film. Watched it a couple times right back then. Saw it again a few years ago, actually, when I reviewed it on my old channel. And it's kind of stood the test of time. I don't know if that's in a good way or a bad way, but it's a brutal, brutal film. We got a guy who is has fire issues because his mother used to hold his arms over the stove to burn him when he was a kid. So now he takes out his burning frustrations on women. He captures them, kidnaps them, brings them to his house. Actually, pretty much he brings them to his house, and then he keeps them there. In some cases, he strips them naked. In other cases, he just strings them up from his ceiling, and then he puts on this asbestos suit, this great big fire suit, and douses them with flames, and then they burn to death. It's brutal. It's brutal, but hey, that's what the kind of film this is, right? Dan Grimaldi? Dan Grimaldi plays the title character, Donnie Kohler. It's his first acting job he ever did, on IMDb anyway. He went on to be in The Sopranos. He played Patsy or Phil Parisi, both of them, I guess. And this film was filmed in New Jersey. It was kind of interesting because if you look on IMDb, you can find the exact address where this was filmed. It's actually like a historical site now, and the house is still standing. It looks pretty much exactly the same. And apparently they have an annual viewing of this show within the house every year because it was filmed there. And the house apparently on the inside looks pretty much the same as well. So, wow. So anyway, it's got some nude scenes. It's got a lot of brutality in it. Not a lot of famous people in it. The star, Mr. Grimaldi, is probably the only one who has any sort of fame at all. But I've had this DVD a long, long time. It has recently got a Blu-ray release, which I do want to pick up, but it's getting a little pricey now. Last time I looked, it was like $38, $40 in that range there, which is pretty high for a Blu-ray, I think, but I think it might be out of print, so people want this film. It's probably going to look a lot better than this one does, although this one doesn't look bad, but I'm sure the Blu-ray looks a little better. But anyway, this is kind of considered a horror classic. And I think it was one of the video nasties in the UK, so it's got a lot of renown. So I bet you a lot of people have seen this movie, and I'm curious what you think about it. So leave some comments down below. Let me think. Entertaining film. I liked it. I do recommend it. Love the scene when after his mom died, and he's dancing around the living room because he wants to play his rock music loud. That's kind of cool. But anyway, let me know what you think about it. Leave some comments down below and watch this movie again and again. It's called Don't Go in the House. Brutal stuff, man. Good. Watch it. Bye.